Hey Pickles, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. So just lately I've gotten really into designing face charts on my iPad. They're all up in a highlight on my Instagram if you do want to check that out. But this was one of the looks that I created and I decided to film a video on it just because I thought it was really bright and fun and funky. Realistically, there was no way that I couldn't share this look with you guys. It is smoky, it has a rainbow, it has sparkles, like what is not to freaking love? I will say, if you're looking for a natural day-to-day look, this ain't it, sis, but what do you expect from me, really? Into the tutorial. As ever, I start off with my P. Louise base in Rumour 2. You want as light a base as you feel comfortable doing. Just because we are working with rainbow colours, you really want them to pop. I just worked a nice thin layer all over the lid. The beauty of the P. Louise base is you don't have to apply it thick. You can layer it up if you want to, but if you don't like a heavy base on your lids, it works just as well. So it is a really versatile product, and you guys know I swear by the P. Louise base now. The first step was to take Black Beach from Carnival Love Tahiti or Carnival 3, whichever you prefer to call it. I use both interchangeably, I don't think it really matters. And I'm just marking out the shape of the cut crease, sort of like a full cut crease or floating cut crease, whatever you want to call it, from inner all the way to outer. I followed the shape of my natural crease and then gave it a little flicky flick on the outer part, almost meeting up with the brow at the end. Try and remember to bring this a little higher than you naturally would bring your first shadow, just because we are going in with multiple cuts and we need that space. You want to really utilise the space between the crease and the brow at this point. Bear in mind at this point not to go in super heavy with black shadow, just because it is so pigmented normally. You're just mapping out the shape initially and sort of filling in where the dark is roughly going to be before we move on to add our first rainbow blend. Once you're happy with the shape, we can leave the black for a bit and go into our rainbow colours. So I used Bloom and Mango from Carnival 3 as my first two shades. And I just buffed these colours in, starting with the pink on the inner corner, and you'll see me work all the way through the rainbow along that sort of false crease that we have created. So separate stages, apply the colour first and then tap the edges to blend. Not going with any transition shade, just using the colour to blend itself, tapping the excess off the brush or wiping the excess off the brush and then tapping to blend, as I say. This is Keen from Carnival XL Pro, and that was the yellow shade, and you can see we're just moving along that rainbow. As you can see, I did chop and change between both of these palettes, but you could just use one or the other of them, or any other rainbow palette that you have. It doesn't have to be both of these or even either of them. But this is Ecstasy, which is the most beautiful green, and then Showboat. These were both from XL Pro as well. Mind the focusing issues, like, it's fine. My camera quite often likes to not cooperate, but it's 2020, who's shocked? Tahiti from Carnival 3 was the purple, and I just really worked on blending these last two shades together because they were a little bit tricky. I always find blue and purple more difficult to blend together than any other like neighbouring colours on the colour wheel. I don't know why. One of life's little mysteries. Then it was time to take Black Beach again and just reinforce that black. You can see how faded it is, how much intensity we've lost, but that's fine. And this is where I really went in and packed it on, minding the shape still, just really following that line but intensifying that black, so we're super smoky and grungy. Once I'd reawakened that black, it was time to blend it out, so I took a small, dense but still quite fluffy brush and just tickled the edges of that black. You're never going to get a perfect seamless blending from black into coloured shadow, but you just want to give the illusion that there is a little bit of some sort of blend there, a little bit of smokiness, and it will come together. Just make sure not to have too much excess shadow on the brush. Because I kept to that shape as best I could, there is minimal cleanup at this stage, as you can see, but I just used a makeup wipe and tidied up around that crease just to make everything crisp and smooth. A little hack I like doing that you can actually see me doing here is I will wrap the wipe around a mixing spatula, and it just gives the sharpest finish as long as you're very gentle. As much as I love the P. Louise bases for an all over base, once I've cut the crease I have kind of fallen back in love with using the blank canvas acid rain paint for on the lid after I've cut a crease. I don't know why, there's just something about how opaque it is and smooth. I don't know, I'm just a little bit obsessed with it again. I fell out of love with it for a while, but yeah, I'm back there, I'm smitten once more. And pretty standard for this stage in a cut crease look, just following that line we've already created and just making sure there is a nice thin layer of the base on there. As I say, this is fairly standard stuff at this point, so talk amongst yourselves for a moment, guys. Once that was done, I just really wanted to make sure that cut crease was super crisp, so I took the Feed Black Fresh Ink paint from P. Louise. Oh my god, I could only just say that, what a tongue twister, what is wrong with me? And I just lined around that crease, and look at the difference there now, how crisp and sharp it is. Pretty sexual if you ask me. All I did at this point was redo another rainbow blend, this time underneath that crease. So I tried to keep the orange where the orange was above, the yellow where the yellow was above, so on and so forth, just using the exact same shades before on a tiny brush, being mindful of the crease, keeping everything sharp. And I just spent ages, pretty much, quite frankly, making sure it was as blended as humanly possible. You can add in as many bridging shades as you desire, just to make the blend even more seamless and to save a little bit of time. It's all down to preference. If I'm not feeling a blend or it seems a bit patchy, then I'll go in with bridging shades, no problem. It's just all about what you want to do and how perfect you want the look at the end of the day. Once I got to the purple, I made sure it faded out to nothing, but you could just as easily take this right back into the hairline if you want. Look, hydration break. Stay hydrated, kids. This is where I took Feed Black again and I cut the crease one more time, following that shape from above as closely as possible, keeping that rainbow line as even in width as possible. It's not easy necessarily, just take your time. You could just use black eyeshadow for this, but I felt like the Feed Black paint made everything that little bit more crisp, and that's where your cut creases will really improve. If you refine how crisp and sharp your creases are, your looks will improve tenfold overnight, I promise you. At the outer edge, I just created a wing shape. Don't worry too much about this because you can always tidy it up with concealer if necessary. For the sparkle, it was Sample Beauty pigment, and this is Black Ice, and it doesn't really look like much until you get it on the eye, and then the sparkle is insane. It looks so good when you use it over black or other dark colours, and it's just stunning. And the silver reflex make a really nice change from the sort of holographic or iridescent properties of a lot of other glitters and pigments. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous pigment. After that, I just whacked, and yes, that is the technical term, whacked a bit more P. Louise base under the eye just to give the under eye shadow something to stick to. And it wasn't a convoluted under eye, just black. So I went in with it on a small brush first, using Black Beach as you saw. And then I smoke that out with a bit fluffier brush once I've laid that colour down. You could mirror the rainbow under the eye if you wanted. I just liked the smoky simplicity. Lashes are from Amazon. I will leave the link in the description below. I bloody love these. And as you can see, they just topped the look off nicely. They were full without overpowering, but they still held their own against the eye look. Like, yeah, love these lashes. 10 out of 10, do recommend. As I say, I will leave the link below. And yes, I did put mascara on my lashes, but I wasn't in focus for it. And let's face it, we've all seen people put mascara on before now, so I didn't really feel it was necessary. But yes, this is the finished look that you've already seen at the start of the video. Not sure why I thought it was such a ta-da moment, but here we are. If you recreate, I would love to see. Don't forget to check out that face charts highlight over on Instagram and give me a follow while you're there. Until the next time, guys, please remember to look after one another and stay safe. Drop the video a like and a comment, let me know you enjoyed it. And if you haven't already subscribed, seriously, come on, stop fighting it. We're meant to be together. See you next time.